Guys, what's up? So, let me just adjust this. Okay. So my name is Abby and I am 30 years old. And I'm just kind of, I don't know, it's been suggested to me by a lot of people to kind of tell my story and tell you guys, like, tell the world where I've been, what's happened to me, etc. I don't really know where to start. I didn't make any notes, just kind of spur of the moment. I'm actually not even sure if I'll post this one. Okay, so I have been a victim of the mental health system. The first time I was hospitalized psychiatrically was when I was 12 years old. And my current diagnoses are major depression or bipolar, depending on who you ask. I mean, it's all subjective, in my opinion. I have an eating disorder. Again, it depends on my weight of the day or who you ask. Because the criteria is constantly changing. I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder, borderline personality disorder, and dissociative identity disorder. So dissociative identity disorder is a new diagnosis for me. It's actually very much related to multiple personality disorder, so it's not like I have a split personality per se. I mean, I can change drastically from one minute to another depending on triggers around me. However, these different personalities, they don't have like different names per se. They're all Abby. It's just kind of fragmented parts of myself because of all the trauma that I experienced. So I guess the interesting thing about my story is that the bulk of my trauma actually happened to me in psychiatric hospitals. This may be absolutely unfathomable for most of you. However, when I was 12 years old, I was put undercover as a sleeper agent in my first psychiatric hospital admission. I was raped upon admission. I was told that maybe they'll actually believe this one, because apparently I was supposed to eventually testify about what was happening in psych hospitals. I witnessed other children being raped, and I was to be trained as a handler. My mom has an MSW in social work, well, master's in social work. And I actually, when I was 12 years old, I said that I was suicidal for attention because my grandmother had brain cancer. My mom had gone back to school for her master's. I was used to my mom being a stay-at-home mom. I was being bullied a lot in school because of my weight. So yeah, I kind of grew up at the age of 12 reading the DSM, reading the diagnostic criteria of various mental illnesses. I would read my mom's case notes. For example, I remember specifically going to the basement one day and reading in her notes that one of her clients could purge the visual stimuli of the toilet. It was at that point that I started experimenting with eating disordered behaviors. So prior to my first hospitalization, I was already experimenting with eating disordered behaviors. Yes, I was extremely overweight. In fact, my highest weight, approximately age 16, we're jumping ahead a little, but that's okay. Sorry, I use we a lot because of the dissociative identity disorder, because it's complicated. Okay. So at the age of 16, I was approximately 187 pounds. Later on, that switched to anorexia, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so back to age 12. So for my first psychiatric hospitalization, in my opinion, they knew there was nothing wrong with me. The reason at the time that they used to hospitalize children or adults, I guess, that were suicidal was because they could be potential suicide bombers. So I basically at the time was a potential terrorist, or in their eyes, or maybe they knew that I actually wasn't suicidal. However, they medicated me with psychiatric medications. I believe the first medication I was put on was Paxil. I don't remember specifically. So they basically medicated a healthy 12-year-old who just needed attention from her mom with heavy-duty psychiatric medications that later on got a black box warning, warning people that they could actually make children suicidal. So anyway, I've been on psychiatric medication since the age of 12. So basically, upon admission to that psych hospital, a male and a female, they raped me. They put a white blanket on the ground, a white sheet rather, and yeah. And they said, this is the last one we're going to have to do. And they said something like, oh, they're using psych hospitals for this now. I mean, I'm not really sure what they meant by that. I remember some of it very clearly, some of it is very foggy. This hospital that it happened at, it was called Charter Hospital in Summit, New Jersey, which is now named Summit Oaks Hospital. Same facility, different ownership. I remember that when I was brought to the psych ER, because all my friends at the age of 12, when I was telling them I was suicidal, etc., I was saying it for attention. They went to a teacher, like a whole group of them. The teacher told the guidance counselor at my school there. I lived in Cranford, New Jersey at the time. So that was Orange Avenue Middle School. And the teacher told the guidance counselor, Mr. Gilroy. Mr. Gilroy called my mom. And I was sent to Trinitas Hospital Psych ER in Elizabeth, New Jersey. From there, they were going to admit me to the Trinitas Psych unit. Instead, they sent me to Charter, which I spoke about. So I remember being put in the ambulance, being wheeled on the stretcher, like strapped down this blue hallway to the children's unit. My mom was with me, and they stopped her at the door. Mom didn't want to let me go in by myself. And they said, if you don't let her go in by herself, we're going to call DYFS, which is now DCPP on you. So it was a pretty traumatic moment there. Basically, me going, it was probably like 3 a.m. or so, into this psychiatric unit by myself where I was raped. I stayed there for about a week. I got out, and, excuse me, that's kind of where my story begins. We're now at the age of 30. I've been psychiatric hospitalized over 100 times. It ended up, well, I was drugged. I know this is hard for people to believe. I was forcibly medicated under supposed emergency circumstances, which is actually against civil rights of psychiatric patients, where they can only forcibly inject someone with medication if it's an absolute emergency. For the majority of the times that I was medicated, it was not. So I would be drugged and then I would be raped. A lot of it I don't remember because I was under the influence of, I don't know what they were giving me. I can remember times not being able to move, however, being aware that I was being raped. I'm jumping around a little bit. One of the most clear memories I have of being raped is at Overlook Hospital in Summit, New Jersey, in the quiet room by one of the staff members. I won't say his name, however, I do know his name. He still works there. I was in the quiet room, and I blocked out for part of being raped. However, it's very clear when they pulled my pants back up, pat my genitals over my clothes, and my body was kind of convulsing with, you know, the natural body sexual response to penetration. Yes, this is very graphic, so I'll put a trigger warning. After that one incident that I remember being raped, that's when my trichotillomania started, which I also struggle with. Trichotillomania is intentional hair pulling. In my case, people do it to different parts of their body, their hairline, which I did when I was younger, eyebrows, etc. I never did my eyebrows. However, after this one rape at Overlook, that's when I started the trichotillomania in my pubic area. That still continues today. I remember the quiet room. Basically what a quiet room is, it's where the patient, excuse me, is isolated. I had a one-to-one. The one-to-one raped me. However, I know that other staff members were involved. I am a victim of organized crime. There's like a metal toilet with all metal like a prison. There's metal sink. Like nothing. Bare walls. You're lucky if you get a blanket. I wanted to freaking kill myself because I was locked in a psych unit, no access to telephones, etc. Nothing. And I remember during a subsequent admission to Overlook, I don't know if I was raped during that admission. I was told at one point by a family therapist at a very renowned eating disorder unit in Pennsylvania that I've been raped in every psych hospital that I've been in. I don't know if that's true. I know that I've been raped several times, definitely. Albert Einstein Medical Center in the ER, Overlook Center, medical units, psych unit, etc. I've witnessed other patients being raped at Trinitas Hospital in Elizabeth, New Jersey, at UMDNJ in Newark, New Jersey. These are the things that I can remember. I'm still going through memory recovery. And not through like forced hypnosis, not through any therapist's suggestions, just through me feeling safe enough because now I have my own apartment. I live out of the hospital for the most part, and I've been feeling safe enough to remember what's happened to me. I often get scared when I talk about it because I'm scared that if people that were involved in these crimes find out that I'm remembering speaking about it, they will hurt me. I was told by a family therapist that if I talk about it too much, then either me or my dad will get hurt. So that's one of my biggest fears. I've been diagnosed with schizoaffective in the past because of these paranoid ideations. However, they're not really paranoid when I was told straight up that I could be hurt. I've never filed official reports against the staff who violated and abused me. I want to, however, I can't prove it. There's no physical evidence. I was psychotic at the time. It's a mess. So basically, my life at 30 years old, I'm one class from my associate's degree. I don't drive. I don't have a significant other. I just got a job several weeks ago as a cashier of all things, which is not like I'm an idiot, which actually one customer called me the other day. Just my PTSD and the eating disorder at times is so severe that like I can't function. So it's embarrassing because actually my IQ qualifies me for Mensa. However, I've not been able to do much with my life because of what I've been through. I also am trying to get clean from drug use. My drug of choice is dextromethorphan, also known as Robitussin. I say that food is my drug of choice, actually. However, my weight often makes me suicidal. Because when I was at higher weights, that's when I was raped in psych hospitals. Like I said, my highest weight was 187 pounds. My lowest weight was somewhere in the 70s. I don't know. At one point, Overlook Hospital, where I was raped a lot, they were going to put me in hospice. I had a peg tube for a long time. At this point, my eating disorder is better. My weight is better. However, whenever I eat solid food, I feel the need to punish myself because when I eat food, that's when I become suicidal. So I end up getting high instead of hurting myself. My therapist, who I'm just starting working with, the new one, is okay with that. We're working on it. I feel like I'm all over the place. I mean, my story is so all over the place that it's really hard. I probably should have made an outline or some notes. I'm most likely going to post this and take it down eventually. I think in a lot of ways, my eating disorder and drug use is a way to be like, look guys, there's a lot that I'm not telling you. You have to read between the lines. So yeah, like that's where I'm at. I guess today I was supposed to volunteer at a mental health in New Jersey walk this morning. However, I slept through it because I'm absolutely exhausted. It's been a very long week for me. I've been trying to obtain treatment for the eating disorder and drug use. I've been trying to get into an IOP program, intensive outpatient. However, drug programs deny me because of the eating disorder. Eating disorder programs deny me because of the drug use. And then the one program that I found that can treat both, they told me that I need a higher level of care, which I'm not willing to do. Because I have an apartment, I have a cat named Karma. I love my cat. He's adorable. He keeps me alive. He saves me on a daily basis. Like I said, I have a job now, which I really value because having some sort of normalcy in my life is really nice at this point. Like, all I want to do is be normal. I want to eventually go back to school. I'm working on my Rutgers application for the Newark, New Jersey campus. I want to either go into medicine and psychiatry or law and social work. However, right now, with my eating disorder, my eating disorder, I can only drink protein shakes. Because, like I said, with solid food, I become suicidal, or I get high, or I abuse laxatives. And all of those are potentially physically damaging, and I'm not looking to die at this point. It's just, I've been through so much, and my life has really been horrible thus far, that it feels like the pain will never end. And I also, I'm really doing this YouTube video so that I can be heard, so that I can start telling my story and telling other people's stories, because there's people in psych hospitals behind locked doors that are abused on a daily basis, sexually, physically, emotionally. And they don't have a voice. Some people are locked up their entire lives. I'm lucky in that I was only locked up for 18 years. So, I mean, I have to count my blessings at this point. I remember my roommate when I was 12 years old, my first psych hospital. She told me that the voices in her head were telling her to hang herself with her pants. I went and told the staff. They gave me the comics to give to her. I later met up with the same roommate when I was 18 years old at St. Mary's in Hoboken, their child adolescent unit. Well, no, I was 17. And she was there as well, and the staff told me that she had had it a lot worse than I had. This is where my story gets a little disjointed, because I know that my ambulance was hijacked on the way from Somerset Medical Center, which is now Robert Wood Johnson, their eating disorder unit, to St. Mary's in Hoboken, by the FBI. You could call me psychotic and paranoid and delusional. That would be a very easy explanation. I know it's hard for a lot of you to believe that these things actually happen and do happen. However, they do. And I'm not lying. In the past, yeah, I've lied about things. I lied about things because I was trying to get attention so that people would know that there was a truth underlying my actions. In the past, I lied because that's all. I was scared to tell the truth. I'm still scared of telling the truth. I'm constantly scared of getting in trouble for telling the truth. It has gotten me in trouble before. It's gotten me psychiatric hospitalized. It's gotten me raped. So that's why I'm posting this, because if I tell enough people about it, I feel safe. I'm safe. The only people that I'm scared of other people. One more thing before I end. I'm currently in the process of transitioning to medicinal marijuana for the PTSD. So I need 90 days clean from dextromethorphan in order to do so. I'm working with a psychiatrist that specializes in addiction and eating disorders. I won't give her location. I value that confidentiality. The only confidentiality that I will ever violate, not confidentiality, the only people that I will ever call out are the people that I am absolutely 100% sure abused me. Yes, I understand that they may have been forced to do so. However, there's always a choice. If somebody says either rape this person or I'll kill you, like, I don't know what I know what I would do. If I were clean and sober, like, kill me. I don't want to die. I wouldn't wish what happened to me my worst enemy, though. I'm not saying that I haven't done bad things in my life. I am saying, though, that what's been done to me is no comparison to what I've done. And I've been blamed my entire life for being the bad person, when there's all these cover-ups going on of other people who did all these bad things to me that no one knows about, and that thus far I've been too afraid to talk about. It's not fair that I can't find treatment for myself because I've been forced into treatment so many times when I wasn't ready. It's not fair that I've lost 18 years of my life to basically uncovering a conspiracy. If you ever have heard of MK Ultra through the CIA, the reports were declassified. I don't know when. I know MK Ultra happened somewhere in the 60s, I believe, somewhere around there. It's an offshoot of Project Paperclip, when the CIA brought over German war criminals to the U.S. for the mind control experiments. So MK Ultra was basically inducing dissociative identity disorder to make like perfect assassins or the perfect spies, the Manchurian Candidate. Look all this up. Personally, I believe in many conspiracy theories. They could be completely false. However, these are real CIA documents that were actually declassified that you can read online whenever you feel like. At this point, I'm kind of dissociating a little bit. So I think I'm gonna end here. Sorry that this is so long. Sorry that I'm rambling. I'm not sorry for telling the truth, though. There's more to my story, and I'll keep talking. So that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed listening. If you think I'm crazy, so be it. However, just know that this is my truth, and you don't have to believe it because I know my truth. Alright. There's my Hamsa. Namaste.